What you doing, other nerds? I'm the AC, and yes, I am back finally to make more videos. And I was going to start my return with a vlog, but the only thing I really cared about while I was gone was wanting to see more magicians. So this is my first video while being back. And if you are seeing this sometime in the future, maybe this is your first video, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. So just ignore that and let's start the video here. So, magicians. I am behind and I gotta catch up. So my goal is to watch an episode, make a video, watch the next episode, make the next video, because I don't want to spoil it for myself and try to make one giant video that might just end up being a bunch of rambling, because that's what I do. Sometimes I don't really stick to what I want to say and just talk about stuff. Anyways, I'm going to start with episode 4. That's where I left off. It is Magicians Anonymous. Had to practice that word a lot because apparently I couldn't say it. Whatever. And in this episode first, it had a long recap at the beginning, didn't it? Is it just me? I feel like it was really long. But besides the recap in the beginning, we start with Katie. She's in a... Is it a Magicians Anonymous or a drug one? I wasn't clear on that. I don't take too much time to analyze these since I'm trying to get through them all and catch up. But, surprise, surprise, one of the girls ends up being Dean Fogg, who is there for alcoholism, because he was over 33 days without drinking. Good for him. I haven't made it that far yet myself, but for him, I will try to push on longer. And apparently Katie, while still looking and on her search, apparently found a solution to help them is to, take a nice little magic trip. And Dean Fogg volunteers himself to go with her. And even though she was kind of at first, she does too, because nothing's more inspiring than taking drugs with your friends. Right? So, they get to go to this nice magical place where everything's all weird, and Katie gets these big eyes, and they're just out of their minds and looks not advocating for drugs. Anyways, so they eventually find the Emperor, and he makes a deal, what you would call it, and he's like, okay, I'll help you with your search. But one of you's going to stay here, one of you's going to go off. And in the end, Dean Fogg eventually stays because Katie still has a little sense of responsibility, as they point out, and she will be a bummer in like 100 years or so. I don't know. So they try to make it a little emotional because, there's not much, hasn't been too much interaction between Dean Fogg and Katie. There's been a little bit, but they put a little emotion into it. I appreciate it, but she's like, you don't really want to do this, and he goes on about how he's been through shit, and yeah, he has 40 timelines worth of it, but and he remembers it, but she doesn't. Anyway, so that's the Katie Dean Fogg adventure. Let's move on to, surprisingly, one of the more interesting parts of the episode, which is with what is Julia doing? I'm not too crazy about her, but whatever. So Julia apparently didn't burn the binder's book, and not only that, she has another run-in with another goddess because she apparently had a little fan in the goddess world named Clarion. She is the goddess of melody, and she makes a little deal with Julia. She says she can stop this whole mess that's about to happen, but she wants to be human. I don't know why. Well, I do, because she tells me. I personally don't know why she would want to be human. Goddess seems much cooler, except for I'm also a musician, and Clarence says even though she's the goddess of melody and whatever, she can't actually feel it or understand it, something like that. And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. So, Julia is, of course, fishy about this because she was a goddess, and all the other gods seem to be dicks, just like she is, whatever. So, she consults the binder. trying to figure out how she would even go about turning a goddess into human, because she doesn't really know exactly how it worked for her. And, stuff happens, blah, blah, blah. Eventually, we get to Penny's story. And Penny, still hearing using the patch to try to turn out the signal, of trying to help the student, which I will talk much more on later. Trust me. And, it starts really messing with him. And he's losing his control even more. The patches aren't working. He tries to make a new one. It still doesn't work. And he's zapping all over the place. He's starting to get the signal even stronger. Eventually the signal is killing him. And there's not really anything he can figure out what to do about it. He's apparently just about to die. And that's when Julia brings the goddess over. And he's like, can you help him? And she's like, yes. But our deal still stands. She's like, I could help him and save the world, but I'm not going to do both. And she doesn't. So apparently they decide to save Penny. But that means the goddess won't help save the world. Apparently. Whatever. I was like, okay. And then, they even mention in the show, Penny's like, it's ironic, isn't it? I made a decision for you, now you made a decision for me. That decision for him being, he lost his psychicness and kind of his ability to travel accurately, they say. But yeah, I guess it is kind of ironic. Still don't like the two of them together. Whatever. But the rest of the storylines aren't really that interesting to me. What happened? Let's see. Alice went to the library. He was getting attacked by Visigoths. After sealing a couple doors and then getting that broke through, Zelda, who happened to just be there, ends up burning all of the collection in the library with everyone's lives. So now they don't have that. Whatever. Now, over to Margot and Elliot. First off, Elliot, he didn't really do much, but he was around. The thing I wasn't too crazy about is it seems he's already over quitting, and he's kind of taking an interest in the Dark King, and he gets offered a position to be taught, because apparently they still think the Dark King doesn't know who them. I'm pretty sure the Dark King knows exactly who they are, but we'll see in the future episodes I watch. But Margot goes taker hunting, I guess. It goes on a rescue mission, blah, blah, blah. She does this whole quest. That's not too much an interesting part. It does look like it's hard to see. Does she have, mock Sarubac? I don't think they're the same thing, are they? They look differently to me. But yeah, she has some kind of little axes that, replacement Saru, if they are not the real thing. Whatever. But the interesting part with that is the Dark King just uses some kind of little spell. Takers vaporize, kind of turn to dust, and then it looks like he's absorbs them. So, could it be that he is using the Takers and absorbing their life, and that's why he's immortal? Or is all of the Taker thing just a ploy anyways, just to make it look like he's actually this powerful magician, king, whatever? Yeah, magician's king. Because, even though I still think the Dark King, it's just a theory, but I think the Dark King could be Rupert Chapman. Maybe, I think he could be some kind of Chapman. Maybe not exactly Rupert. But the reason I think that is because in this episode also, Plum is introduced. And she's a girl, Penny's been trying to help, and I knew Plum was going to come in eventually. I didn't think she would be Plum, because she's not the same kind of Plum that was in the book. She's just Plum by name, because even though Plum was a decent magician, and she does eventually end up being introduced as a Breakville student, in the book she was more of an illusionist, if I remember correctly. She wasn't psychic and she couldn't travel. But, I don't know, it was weird seeing her. She was still at least British, which is kind of, or sounds British. So that's still kind of a hint. But, yeah, I still think either the Dark King is some kind of Chatwin. I really want it to be Rupert, but that doesn't make complete sense. But, yeah, then she takes off her patch and she blitzes out also. So yeah, this was an interesting episode, especially developing towards how it's similar to the third book of the trilogy. But what did you think? Did you enjoy it like I did? Are you behind like I am too and just happened to catch this? I don't know. I'm going to go and watch more, but until then, like this video if you liked what you've seen. If you want to see what I'm going to say about more Magicians episodes, go ahead and subscribe to my channel because more are coming up quickly, because I'm going to be doing a lot. But I'm the AC. Thank you for watching. Bye.